this is sort of in person. I'm Jesse. Excuse me, sorry. I actually have not had my morning coffee yet, even though it's 12:30 in California. But it's Sunday, so it's okay. It's all good. It's gonna be. I will get a lot of coffee after we have an awesome chat. Okay, so where do we begin today? So in the first chat that I did, like my roommate's coming back right now. Let me just say hi to him real quick. Hey, dude. I'm doing a live chat. Jack says hi, you guys. So in the last, I guess it was maybe 2 weeks ago, that we did a chat. I started talking about, acting and how to, Chris says hi, Jack. Chris, you are the man, by the way. You really are the man. We started talking about last week about, ideas about, acting and that sort of thing, and if you'd be interested in pursuing this career. So I guess this week I kind of wanted just to, build upon that whole theme of pursuing what it is in your life that you want to pursue. That's why I think that I'm sure the people that have booked this, hopefully some of you are interested in acting, but I think that more than that, it's really important to fully understand that you have one life. That's obvious, but it's sometimes not as obvious as I feel like people, the way some people live their lives. That statement about living once doesn't really seem to match up to how they're choosing to live their life. I think that sometimes I process my thoughts as I'm talking, so I hope you guys will bear with me with that. But what I'm saying is that you really gotta take some time, I think, in for yourself to figure out what it is that you're looking for and what you want to accomplish, who you want to spend your time with, who you might want to date or marry if you want to marry someone. I think it's important to envision what you want, is what I'm saying, and who you want to have in your life. Because what I've found about, especially with acting, this business can be really spread out, and there's a lot of aspects of it. Let me see this little comment here. Okay, so I just got a question here. I will definitely answer. You guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So I'll go back to what I was just saying after I answer this. So I had a question here from, I'm not sure how you say your name. Is it I can't pronounce your name. Manira. I hope I did that right. I'm sorry if I didn't if I totally messed that up. But your name is really cool. When did you get interested in acting? I missed your last shot. Okay, well. So kind of going back to what I was just saying about figuring out what you want to do and that sort of thing. I think that we're all works in progress, and we figure out things, that we like as we go along. So when I was in college, gosh, it was a few years ago now, I started realizing that, as I was switching majors, I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do and that sort of thing. But I always knew what I liked, and I love people. I love, just being social and being myself. I mean, I know it sounds that, but this business is actually sort of matches up with all of those things. And so I think that it was in college I decided I would to try entertainment as a as a career. I didn't exactly know where I would fit in entertainment. I knew that I was interested in acting and somewhat and hosting and that sort of thing. But it's the journey of learning the craft of acting, for me personally, has actually been so much of a personal journey of learning more about myself. Because the thing is, I think when people think of acting, I think I was talking about this on the last chat. Simon is here, by the way, and Crystal. How are you guys? Crystal, you guys, just real quick. Simon and Crystal would always, there he is. They would always be on another chat service that we would do when I first started, like, acting. This I'm going back to Manira. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. Manira's question. We when I first started getting really into acting, I started doing more live chats. And Crystal and Simon were two of my friends now that from Crystal's in California here, but Simon is up in Canada. I have friends all over the world because of social media, and that all, directly correlated with entertainment and acting, because it's it's all connected, and it's just, and actually entertainment, as probably all of us know, is completely going to, like, from television onto our, like, I'm using my iPhone right now to do this. So it's like, everything's going to the web. I mean, there's Amazon series, and there's a movie that I'm in that's on Netflix. I mean, so that's all internet. It's that movie is actually called Bikini Spring Break. It sounds like worse than it is. It's like a college age American Pie-ish type movie. It's for, like, college age. So if anyone's, like, younger here, I don't think you should watch it. But if you're over 18, that's fine. Let me see this couple of questions here. Chris, yes, a global support network. Absolutely. Yeah, and now, Chris, now you're one of my friends through social media and that sort of that sort of thing. Crystal and Simon are definitely saying that it's definitely 18 plus, but it's a fun movie. And the scenes that I'm in are just fun. That's not 18 plus. So anyway, okay. So what was I saying? So back to the idea of going after what you want. Like, I know, actually, Simon, who's on this chat, I remember from when we would talk about on the gosh, it was a while ago, on some of the other chats. Excuse me, you were Simon, you were going through the whole, like, job process and figuring out, like how's that going, by the way? Are you let me see what you it's okay. So he's still job searching. Okay, so I'm glad that I brought that up. Like, so as an actor, we're constantly searching for work too. But what I think you have to do, and Simon, you probably will agree with this because you're in the process of, finding work and that sort of thing. Like, you really just have to force yourself to take things one day at a time, because, I mean, to be honest, like, if someone had told, okay, so I've been now living in Hollywood for, gosh, over 5 years, which is, wait, yeah, that's crazy. And it's had someone told me that after college I would move to Hollywood, and I mean, I don't think I would have believed them, number one. But number two, like, had I thought about how difficult the business can be, I probably would have never even started, because that's, if you can't think about things that way. Like, something I've recently been getting back into, actually right here, I have it, my guitar, in this case, whatever, obviously. And it's right next to me. And it's like, because I sing a little bit as well, and I play a little bit of guitar. And I recently had kind of the same sort of, like, epiphany, if you want to call it that, of, like, that I did when I began pursuing acting. Like, you have to just do it. You have to just, whatever it is that your dream is, you have to just do it. And you have to, and and by doing it, I mean starting to do something towards your goal. Obviously, would I love to be on a series right now? Like, yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. And that may not happen today, but I can do one thing at least towards my goal of getting onto a television series or booking a commercial. Maybe, for, So there's a couple questions here. I'm getting a little distracted when I see these. Sorry, but I love them. Just keep, like, definitely keep. You guys ask whatever you'd like. Um, um, there's so I have a question about having a mentor in the industry. Yeah, well, I've got several mentors. I've been fortunate enough to actually interview some of them uh, as of as of now. I would say that if just off the top of my head, several acting coaches that I would 100% recommend that have been like mentors to me in Hollywood are Christina Chauncey, Carolyn Barry, and Billy Huffsey. Those are three people that I could send you that information if you guys are interested. Just let me know. Tweet it. I'll tweet it to you. Whatever. They're great people, and I think that it's important to have a mentor because I think it's important for anyone to have the idea of like a mentor. Is I think of that person as just being like a support system, and I think that you can't what I've also learned about Hollywood is that probably it's directly related to any other business too. Like what you're gonna get out of it is what you're gonna put into it. So I think you have to work really hard every day, and whether that's for in Simon's case, finding a job, and in my case too, finding auditions and day jobs that allow you to um, to keep doing what you're doing. And with music, I was just saying I have a little list here. Today's gonna be pretty crazy actually after this chat, because I try to schedule things in I try to do it by time, so I stay on track, because I also love to just hang out and have fun, and go out and party with friends, whatever. And you have to do that. I definitely think you have to do that. I don't care. I'm 27. I'm gonna love going out forever, But I think everything in balance. You have to, definitely well, I guess what I'm saying in this case is have your work time, but then allow yourself to take a little step away from it too. Let me just get some water. Sorry. uh, what else can I a little question here? Let's see, Crystal. Okay, so my friend Crystal here, she said it's hard to make it in Hollywood. I've been in just one music video so far. Well, Crystal, first of all, you're amazing, and you can't don't minimize that one job is a small thing. Because you've been in a music video. That's really cool, and you did that yourself, and because you wanted to do it, so you just have to and I know that Chris, you and I have talked about this with you guys building the app, and it's look, it's awesome, you guys are doing it, and it may be a slower process than maybe you guys have wanted, or I've wanted with acting, but it's happening, and we're all here, and so it's that's really cool. um um so yeah, so Crystal, definitely do not think that what you um that that you haven't accomplished a lot. It's Hollywood's crazy. Hollywood is probably one of the hardest like businesses to break into. I said, I've been here for 5 years, and I mean I do that. I think we all do that thing where we're like, oh, we don't give ourselves credit for what we've accomplished, and um, there's I have a friend who recently said something oh, you've been here for a while, how come you haven't been on a series yet? Well, the thing is, I actually have been on a series, but the roles I've booked are small. But there really is no small role in anything in life, whether it's acting or not, because you're putting yourself in a situation that's contributing to a bigger picture. So Summer, how you doing, Summer? She says, is there a different approach in role hunting or breaking into acting between TV, film, and theater? That's a really good question. To be totally honest with you, I don't work in the theater world as much as some people do. Uh, I feel, let me just, one second. So in terms of like obtaining auditions for uh, like um, for theater, for example, that's I think the way to like I think the process of obtaining auditions through agents and on your own is fairly similar. Like you can definitely like obtain auditions like probably this in a similar way. I think the difference with TV and film is that it's I mean I guess if I would say like I guess if I would say like the what the main difference would be, it's that you kind of have to be in LA or pretty much like LA, honestly, I think if you want to do TV. I mean, there's a lot of other places now. Like, I mean, up actually in San Francisco. I think you guys are in San Francisco, right? Somewhere in I can't remember where. No, or maybe like the Bay. I can't remember where you guys are. But there's like a lot going on in these other places, like like New York, Miami. But I think that anyone who might be watching this, like we hear a lot like, oh, people are leaving California to do like because it's cheaper to film. The business is in LA. It's in LA. So it's like that's what I say to all my friends who are like, oh, I'm gonna, they're like, I'm just gonna like, try to like, I mean, that's great. I mean, it's great. I mean, New York's theater 100%, and there's theater in LA too. But that would probably be my main thing, like between TV and film, like and theater. I would just say like it's LA is where you have to be, and they're in LA is like its own entity. It's like okay, Bay Area, yeah, that's what she said. So and Chris said there are also a lot of other factors you don't have control over too, like right, like for example, reductions being shut down. Well, that's like true, like as in all other jobs, like you know we there's when you really think about it, you guys, like there's like nothing that like very little in life that we actually have control over except for how we react to this exact moment, because I mean obviously we have control in terms of like planning and 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 like people say take control of your life. So I believe you absolutely have control of like your like destiny in terms of like going for your dream. But in terms of like having control in anything we have right now, so it's how we react to the situation right in front of us. um and and it just all can change so quickly. So for example, with like Chris just mentioned, with like productions being shut down, I think what I do in those situations is I just if something I just got a couple of questions here. Sorry, let me see one thing. There's like a bunch of this is cool. I like getting all these questions. I sorry I get sidetracked a little bit. So we have let me start with this one. Do you have any are you currently taking any classes? Yeah. So that's a great question actually. As actors have to be, at least from my experience, I think you have to be enrolled in a class like as much as possible. And it's not, again, like this is some actors might disagree with this, but I'm just gonna put it out there. Like I don't really think that you can teach acting. Like what you learn in acting classes is how to react naturally to, as Sanford Meisner, acting coach, his definition of acting is something I can't word for word, can't remember, but but his definition of acting is living truthfully under unnatural circumstances, something like that. So like, but basically what he's saying is that it's like being, not acting. So what I've learned, obviously there's techniques that are like taught, but what you're going to learn in an acting class is really more about unlearning like controlled things, like and that we all do. Like for example, like one thing that I think has been amazing, you guys, about like pursuing acting is I have like no shame anymore about like when for example when you're on like an airplane and people are like they just don't they're kind of they try to be like a certain way that the people think you have to act in a situation. Just be you. That's the biggest thing in everything in life, and I think that's kind of like what learning acting in those classes has really taught me. So to answer that question, Crystal says, I know I always ask this, but I want to know do you have to memorize all the industry terms? Okay. When I was at Barbizon, my teacher gave me 6 pages, A to Z, and told me to memorize all of them. Okay. So my response to that would be, it's very good to be familiar with like industry terms. Like, for example, we were actually, if you guys wouldn't mind checking this out, my friends and I just filmed a like a well, like my new friends, I just met them and they're amazing. Jen and Steve, they do like YouTube videos. We did a little spoof trailer on a movie called Ouija that's out right now. It's like a horror movie, and we did a Crystal saw it. We did like a spoof called Luigi. So check it out. It's on my Twitter, and you can use the links there. And the sorry, one second. So anyway, so for example, Crystal, your question with that, like when I was on like set with them, there are certain terms like that you have to know, like why am I totally blanking on all of them? But I remember thinking like, like if I didn't know certain things about like how to certain words like the crew was using, I wouldn't know what they were talking about. So I don't think memorizing them is entirely like the most important thing. I think being you and doing what you're really good at doing is what you should focus on. Just in all areas of life, but especially with acting and like and modeling. Modeling is an industry that like I don't really understand very much, so I'm not involved in it, so I don't. And just that's not really my thing. But I'd imagine that that there's a lot of the same exact sort of things with auditions and that sort of thing. So yeah, so be familiar with the terms, but I don't think you need to kill time memorizing all these things. Just be familiar, in my opinion. So anyway, so let's see. Simon says, over that, Simon says, speaking of jobs, many major companies have decided to outsource production. Yeah, well, it's funny. It's funny that well, it's not funny, but it's interesting you bring that up. There's, I was just in a situation that one of my good friends, lost their job to outsourcing. And I mean, I think it's terrible personally. I mean, I think it's okay. Obviously, people need to have like jobs in other countries, but we need to have jobs in our country too. And I think that like it's just, and anyway, that's probably up for debate, but I think that like I don't want to start a debate with that, but I'm just upset because my friend lost their job. I think that there's benefits and to everything with that, but I think that in this particular situation I'm referring to, it shouldn't really have happened given the amount of time that the person was at the company. But anyway, so Simon, what you're saying with that, I think like just again, you just got to take a day at a time. If that, just like for example, if I don't book a job, if I don't book an acting job, for example, yeah, it's like it sucks. I mean, it's annoying, but you either dwell on it or you're like, okay, I'm moving on to the next thing, and I think that's just I think whatever it is that you guys want to do, whether it's acting or someone just I don't know what that was. I'm like living my apartment's here. It's like right next to another one. Someone just like was screaming, yes. I don't know. Maybe is one of the World Series games on right now? I actually have no idea. Anyway, so whatever it is that your dream is, just start today. And literally, like after, like I told you, like at what it's 12. How is it already 12:55? By the way, that's crazy. It's insane. I love like talking to you guys. It's really nice. Okay, so one more question here. From Chris about on the outsourcing note. Do more productions being moved to places like? Oh, okay, that's actually a really good question, Chris. So you guys, I don't know if you guys can all see the questions too. He says, do more productions being moved to places like Louisiana or Georgia affect you? Well, personally, it hasn't really affected me because I haven't like booked work that would take me to those places or but I think that it may affect. I'm sure it affects people, but there's so much going on in LA, that like I think that, and plus it's not even that as much as like creating work wherever you are. You know what I mean? So it probably like I'm actually happy for the people down there in Louisiana and Georgia because they're also then getting opportunity for work that they probably had no access to, up here or down here in LA, but I think typically if a production is going to shoot in Louisiana or Georgia or one of the other states like that, a lot of casting is actually done in LA anyway, so they just fly you out. At least that's from my experience from my friends that have done that. So, and so I just got another question about Yeah, do you hang out with a lot of other aspiring actors? Yeah, that's a really good question or point too. I love hanging out with other actors, other musicians. I love musicians. And I think that it's extremely important to surround yourself with people that are equally as motivated as you. And because it's so easy to become unmotivated, whether it be because you don't book a job or, you're not getting auditions, in any situation, so you got to find a good group of people, right? Even if it's one person, like one of my best friends, Liz, I have so many amazing friends, but I bring up Liz because, we've kind of like had similar struggles or whatever since we've become friends as, aspiring actors, that sort of thing. And just knowing that I can count on Liz and like a million other friends, like, Lucas and a million of them, like, I know I have a group of people that I can count on. And that's the people that I spend my time with. And some of them are actors and musicians. Some of them are working in the other jobs too, like, the surf industry. That's where I was down there this week working at, in the surf industry, which is an amazing industry to work in. I used to do that too. So it's like, there's I'll say Chris is watching. He says he's rewatching X-Files on next. I love the X-Files. Such a good show. Yeah, well, Simon, you know what? As I've said before, one of these days I'll make it up to Canada and you and I will hang out, and maybe it'll be because I'm filming a movie. You never know. We definitely have to do that. So the anyway, you guys. Well, in terms of so I guess in terms for this chapter, in terms of acting and wrapping things up on that end, well, it's an amazing business, and if anyone out there is interested in pursuing it, start. And whatever your dream is, do it. Start today, because if you don't start today, that's one last day in your life that you haven't started to live your dream, and that's sad. Do it. You only live once. So, anyway, you guys, but you guys are really awesome, and thanks for it's Summer and Chris have just been awesome. You guys were amazing. Thanks for having me on, Tivamo, and I know that we're gonna definitely keep doing these, and Crystal, absolutely. I hope to see you sometime soon. Crystal's been in Simon, as I've said, have been good friends of mine through social media, really, for a long time. And so, Chris, I have one last thing. He said, if you could chat with one celeb or hero, who would it be? That's a really good question. Gosh, there's so many people that I would want to talk to. I would actually, well, okay, there's a couple. Chelsea Handler or Ellen DeGeneres, I would love to chat with, because these two women are exactly who they are. And I think that is awesome. And I think that they've both, from what I've learned about their stories, read about them, they've overcome obstacles, that are insane to overcome. So I think that and they've built empires around it. So, and Summer says, okay, awesome. We'll get it. Well, hopefully, if that could happen, that would literally make my life, Summer. I would absolutely love to chat with her. So one day I will, whether it's here on Tivamo with you guys or if we're all together on Ellen's show. So anyway, because I actually do have to run because I'm on to my next on my list of to do, which is, well, it looks short, but it goes on both sides. But I've got to I've got to run, but I love all you guys. And remember, keep doing your thing, live it up. And yeah, you guys, and Chris and Summer, thank you. I'll email you guys, and we'll keep in touch about the next one and chat about this one and stuff. Thank you for let me know how to pronounce your name, Manira, I don't know how to say. I'm so sorry, but thank you for being here, and everyone, you guys, you're awesome, and I will. Oh, and check out that trailer if you don't mind on my it's twitter.com/Jesse Daley. You guys obviously know that because that's why you're here, I guess. But if you could check it out and maybe share it, that would be sweet. Okay, love you guys. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.